Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 4:14 a.m. on this beautiful Tuesday evening, going into Wednesday. And I just woke up, about a half an hour ago. I'm having like such deep dreams lately. And it's so weird, and I was trying to think of a way to kind of explain how it feels when I wake up. I've been having really super intense dreams too. I don't know that they're necessarily, although this dream tonight that I was having was very scary. I've been having a lot of scary dreams lately, and I do think that it has a lot to do with me eating right before I go to bed, like I've said before. I also think that it has to do with the book that I was listening to. I think that's why I was having, it wasn't necessarily a nightmare, it was just kind of like a scary dream. But it literally feels like I'm in this dream down here, and like somebody just like reaches down and like grabs me out of the dream, and then all of a sudden I'm just like boom, like one second I'm in the dream and the next second I'm out. And this thing always happens with me that's so weird when I first wake up from a dream. You know when you take one of those flip books that has like the person going like this, and then on the next page they're like this, and the next page they're like this, and then they're like this, and like this, and then if you go like that, it makes them look like they're running like that. The dream always like slows down for me. Like it's like, but almost as if like it's turning pages, like in my mind, like as if the dream is not real, but it's like pages that are slowly flipping. Whenever I'm like pulled right out of a dream, that's what always happens to me. Is that not the weirdest thing? Anyway, look at those ferns that they have up there, so pretty. Like I'm almost like kind of convinced at this point that like, I don't know, like dreams are just like these artistic renderings in our mind or something like that. I don't even really remember the dream that I was having. I've been having so many dreams that took place at my mom's house where I was growing up. I was there with a couple other people, and we were in the living room. No, that's not where I was at the end of the dream. Where was I at the end of the dream? Well, wherever I was at the end of the dream was like this I don't really know how to explain it. Like the living room was down here, but then like you went up like a set of like 3 stairs, and then there was kind of like this little loft, and then there was another bedroom and like the front door. And anyway, and I like walked in, and there was like this policeman there, like these police came through the front door. I had come in through the back, through the pool area, and they're like, what are you, and this is like straight from the book that I'm listening to, but they were like, what are you doing here? Like, you shouldn't be on this crime scene. And I was like, I just came in from the pool, I was looking for my friend. And all of these people have been like basically murdered that were in this house. And I had seen this one guy that was in the room who we knew was like trying to like hurt everybody. I had seen him like turn over, and he wasn't, this is so weird as I'm telling it, I'm starting to remember more of the dream. He wasn't really dead. And like as he went on the gurney and they took him, like he did something to like cut out areas so that he could see out of like, they thought he was dead out of the bag. Anyway, I don't know. It was gruesome, but he was the one that had like killed all these people, and I was trying to tell the police officer that, and they weren't listening to me. So let me tell you what happened. This is what happened. So today I drove around and I listened to the book The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. which is one of Peter's book club picks for this month, pretty much all day. It was like my whole day. And I think that I listened to so much of it that it's kind of bleeding into my subconscious a little bit, is honestly what I think is happening. Because what happened was, I filmed my Peterisms video yesterday, and I didn't post it, so I posted it today. And then the same thing with my review video. I had filmed a Starbucks review yesterday and didn't post it because I'd done the crumble cookies. So I posted it today, put up my vlog, and then I was like looking at stuff to do a drama video about, and there really wasn't a whole lot to do a drama video about. And so I texted my brother-in-law, Fufu, and I was like, do you want to film a video tonight? My plan was to get over there by like 7 o'clock, and then I was going to upload it at my mother-in-law's house while we were doing this TikTok video that I was going to post tomorrow. And then, we were going to go out to dinner, if it wasn't too late. So when I got over there, my mother-in-law was like, you don't need our internet, do you? Because our internet has been out all day long. Like, she couldn't do work, and Fufu had to go to the library to do his work because the internet was out, which was so funny because, like, literally, as I was leaving, Fufu, like, looked, and he was like, the blue light's back on for the internet, and his mom was, like, so happy and stuff. But by that point, it was, like, 10:30, 10:15, something like that. So it was way too late to go to dinner and upload the videos and all this kind of stuff. So what happened was, when I was leaving the house, I to run some errands, I texted him and I was like, do you want to do this video? He was like, yeah, sure, I'm totally down to do it. He was like excited about it. So I said, okay, let me run home and take a shower, and then I'll be there at like 7:15. Or I think I just said, let me get some stuff done, I'll be there at 7:15. So I ran home, fed the dogs, because Alex was going out to dinner with some girlfriends tonight. And then, I took a shower and got changed and stuff, and headed up there. Put all of my stuff together, got my ring light, loaded this huge Patagonia bag up of all the stuff I needed, my computer, my everything, fans, a change of shirt in case I wanted to change my shirt once I got there, a hat, all this kind of stuff, because I didn't want to just do my hair. I wanted to wear a hat. I had all this stuff, right, that I put together for this bag. I get all the way out there. Now, mind you, my mother-in-law lives probably 25 minutes from our house, okay? Get all the way out there, and I'm setting up, and I'm looking around, and I said, I forgot something, and I'm looking around, and Fifi goes, did you forget your camera? And I go, oh my God, I forgot my camera. The one thing I had to have to film the video, right? So I had to drive, which was fine because here was the other deal. So Grady Hendrix, who wrote My Best Friend's Exorcism and Horror Store, and last year he came out with the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which was one of my favorite books of life. His newest book came out today, and it's called The Final Girls Support Group. And it's so many people are talking about it online on Twitter and stuff like that. And so I had forgotten I had pre-ordered it. I had pre-ordered a B.A. Paris book too. She's the one that wrote Behind Closed Doors. And so they both showed up in my Audible thing today. So I was like, okay, I want to finish. I had the heat on to defrost my windshield, which it did, but now it's hot in here. So I was like, oh, now I want to finish this book, The Maidens, which is really, really good, okay? But I was like, I want to finish this book, The Maidens, so that I can start the Grady Hendrix book. So I didn't really mind that I was in my car a lot today, because I was just listening to the book, of which I have an hour and 8 minutes left until I finish the, so this is probably going to be a short vlog today, because I do want to listen to a little bit of that audiobook. So, I want to finish that audiobook tonight is what I want to do. So my plan had been to lay down for an hour tonight, and I was so tired. I was like, I'm gonna lay down for an hour, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna vlog, and then I'm gonna finish that book, and then I'm gonna start the Grady Hendrix book. But anyway, so I drove all the way home, got my camera, drove all the way back. Fufu and I did the video, which ended up being 45 minutes long. I didn't expect it to be that long. And then we did a TikTok video, and then I was leaving, and that's when the internet, his mom came downstairs. She had been napping upstairs, and so she was so excited that the internet was on. And so I think we're gonna do dinner tomorrow night. Alex is trying to get done with his stuff tomorrow early, because I think his friend that he's going to Florida with this weekend, her family is doing like a birthday thing for her tomorrow at their like house, and they have a pool and stuff. And so Alex was gonna have Fufu go with them, and then we were gonna maybe do dinner afterwards. So, but that's not set in stone. Tanya went with her friend and her friend's husband, well, our friend and our friend's husband, to the meeting that is my sponsor's home group tonight, because our friend, her home group is our home group, but her husband's home group is our sponsor's home group. So they all went to that meeting tonight, so I didn't go to my home group tonight. So yeah, I hung out with Fufu and his mom and stuff instead. And then most of the day I just drove around and listened to the audiobook. I drove around last night and listened to so much of it. Come on, it is hot in here. I drove around last night and listened to so much of that. The Maidens book that I wanted to really get it done today. It's a really good book. But it's very mysterious. It takes place in Cambridge, or at Cambridge, and at this St. Christopher school. And it has a lot, kind of like weaves Greek mythology through it. But in all honesty, that was the thing that I thought that I was not going to like about the book, that it was called The Maidens, and it was like all about Greek mythology and whatever. And actually the term The Maidens comes from a Tennyson poem in the book. And I mean, like, that whole level of literature research is done so well in the book. But it is really basically just, now that I have the air conditioning on, it's frosting up the windshields again. But it's basically just a good mystery. And what it's about is this woman that is, she's like a group therapist. She's probably like in her 40s. Her husband has died like a year and a half before of like, this kind of interesting circumstances. And she's really having a hard time letting go. And so anyway, and then her brother and sister-in-law died in a car crash, and so she's responsible for her niece. And so her niece goes to the St. Christopher school, and she gets a call, like, this is like on page 1 from her niece, that her best friend has been murdered, or she thinks she's been murdered, and she wants her to come. So she comes there, and she runs into like this guy that she went to school with that writes true crime novels about serial killers, and she runs into like this guy she meets in the there's like all these different people. So you really have no idea, honestly, like, as of right now. I mean, the book starts off and she says, like, at the beginning of the book, I know so-and-so did this and I'm gonna prove it. But like the whole time you're unconvinced that it's him. So it's very eerie. It's a great mystery book, and it's scary. It's very scary. So I think it's really kind of affecting me right now. This is where, like, I'm like, I probably should listen to a cozy mystery next, but I really want to read the Grady Hendrix book, and I am going to read the Grady Hendrix book next. The Grady Hendrix book is called The Final Girl Support Group, and it's about, I think it said, like, I was reading Alex's synopsis tonight because it looks so good. There was actually a Riley Sager book that was similar to this called Final Girls. There's 5 girls that, or 5 women, that in the last 10 years have been like the final standing person in like some kind of horrific massacre. And they're all part of this group therapy with this therapist. And one of them doesn't show up one night, and the main character, like, it says like her biggest fears come true, and but they have each other and to get through this. There's just something about Grady Hendrix and the way that he weaves a novel that you really don't know what you're getting into. He does a very specific characterization where you feel like you really get to know the characters. And the plot is so deep that it's not just, you know, it's not going to just be about a group of like final girls that are in this support group together. I mean, it's going to be a lot deeper than that. And it's not going to just be like this, somebody's trying to kill them kind of thing. It will be a lot deeper than that. His books go so deep. Like his book, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, was a book about this. Well, if you read the synopsis and the answer to it, like, he wrote this book called My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was about this girl in the 80s whose best friend was possessed. I think it was the 80s, maybe the 90s, the early 90s, who got possessed. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, he said, was the response, like the mother's response to that, from like a parent's point of view, like a horror novel for a parent's point of view. And it was great, but like he even went in and did like social commentary about social issues on there. And I mean, there just were important issues that he talked about within. I mean, the book was really about this book club that all of a sudden they're all very attracted to this person that they think is a vampire that wants to be part of the group. I mean, like, that's basically the premise. But then there's all these murders that are occurring. And then there's this outlying social commentary kind of on economic and like racial prejudice that's like woven through the book. But like, he knows what he's doing. It's just, he's a fantastic storyteller. So I'm excited about reading this book. I have so many books right now that I want to read. I want to read this. I want to read the B.A. Paris book that she just came out with. It's a new one. I want to read the Maureen Johnson, the 4th book in the Truly Diva series. I have so many books that I want to read. It'll be interesting to see how many books I finish by the end of July, since I'm literally like, I started this book last night, and I'm finished, which is like 9 hours and 19 minutes long, and I'm going to finish it today. But I'm loving these books. I think this is the 54th book that I've read this year. Just crazy. That's good for me. It means that I'll probably reach my goal of 102. I would kind of like, my goal had been, in all honesty, to really push myself the couple first months of the year so that by like June or July I'd already be at 102 books. And so then I could just read a lot of longer books and I wouldn't feel like rushed. But I honestly think kind of what would have happened to some degree is that I would have felt like, well, you already hit your goal, so you don't have to read as hard. I think that's part of what would happen. And I think I just would have really, really slowed down my reading. So the fact that I haven't gotten close yet, I think is actually better. But it's like all these new worlds and new characters that I've been introduced to this year, you know? It was funny because when I was leaving my mother-in-law's house, Fufu was asking me, he was like, how many videos do you film a day? And I said, well, like on a great day, I would, you know, love to film like 6 videos a day, but typically about 4 videos, like with my vlog. And he was like, so by the end of the week, I said anywhere between 4 and 6. He said by the end of the week, you've filmed anywhere from like 30 to 50 videos. And you know, it's so weird until he said that, like that had never really occurred to me, that I'm filming like anywhere of like 30 to 50 videos a week. Like I never thought of it that way. 50 is like, well, it would never be really 50, so. But, I mean, if I filmed 6 videos every single day, yeah, that would be what, 42 videos? So, I mean, if I'm filming 4 videos every single day, I'm filming between 20 and 30 videos a week, which is still a lot. I love it. I know I don't edit and stuff like that, and I'm not comparing because I think they're 2 completely different worlds that we live. But it is crazy to me, like, when YouTubers, like, don't post a video for, like, 3 or 4. And I'm not talking about YouTubers that, like, have huge makeup businesses and all that. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about YouTubers that literally have really not a whole lot else to do except for post a picture on Instagram or post a video on YouTube. I'm like, you post a video like once a month. What else do you do? Like, do you not get, and they're like 22 or 23. I'm like, do you not get like bored? Like, what do you do the rest of the time? You know? It's always like interesting to me. Like I was looking the other day and like Tana Mojo hasn't filmed a video in like 3 months. And I know Tana Mojo, I just got so thirsty for water. I know that Tana Mojo is supposedly running this like management business now and whatever, which is obvious by all of her Instagram stories where she's constantly partying. But it's like, what do you do? Like, she hadn't posted a video in 3 months. Like, what, 90 days? And you're a YouTuber. Like, what do you do? And then they win these awards, you know? Like, YouTuber of the Year. And they've posted, like, 4 videos in a year. I'm like... And before anybody wants to say I'm jealous or whatever, okay? I have never once for 1 second in my entirety of being on YouTube ever thought that I would get nominated, let alone win any kind of YouTube award, okay? So it's not about that. It's just the sheer phoniness of all of it that Tana Mojo would get nominated for YouTuber of the Year when she literally films like 5 videos a year. Nikita Dragon's another one. Like, she wins all these awards and I'm like, what do you do other than put on some hot outfit and go party with your friends? Like, you literally do nothing. Even Paris Hilton, who like made a living out of doing nothing, still hustles. I mean, she's put music out, she's put perfume out, you know, she's like, I know Nikita Dragon has some makeup and stuff like that, but I mean, like, Paris Hilton has really turned her life into a business. I mean, she's got a cooking show on Netflix, she's a cooking book coming out, you know. It's like, who even knew that Paris Hilton cooked? I didn't, you know. Is that the joke of it? Is that, I mean, who knows, right? She's a DJ. I mean, she, you know, invests in businesses and all kinds of stuff. It's like, even Paris Hilton, who probably could just sit around and not do anything, doesn't just sit around and do anything, you know? It's the same thing with TikTok. It's like, somehow the algorithm of TikTok decided who was going to be famous. And these young kids now have millions and millions and millions of dollars for doing nothing. And I don't really think they have a true appreciation of it. I was watching this thing of this YouTuber. If I got it correctly, it was this guy that dated Millie Bobby Brown. And I should do a whole rant video about all this, is honestly what I should do. Maybe I will tomorrow. But, and people were asking him, like, provocative questions about her, you know, and I'm, like, watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, and he's so disrespectful, and I'm like, where are your parents? Like, seriously? Like, and if not, if, like, maybe your parents aren't around now because you're too old or whatever. I think he's, like, 20 or 21 or whatever. My parents were still in my life to some degree when I was 20, but, like, who taught you to speak that way about women? Like, who taught you to speak so disgustingly, disrespectfully, and disgracefully towards women? Like, that, I don't understand that, you know? And I just was like, and if it was like, maybe, you know, like a momentary thing or a lapse in judgment once or twice or 3 times or something, I guess that I could understand, you know, and like that's maybe a moment to grow from and learn from and stuff. But when it's like basically who you are as a person and you're laughing at it and you're like, what? You know, it's like, I don't know. It seems like the YouTube and TikTok world is filled with these young kids who are making mass amounts of money and can behave however they want to behave, and all they do is go to expensive restaurants and hang out with each other and party like it's one big online fraternity. And I kind of wonder, like, where are all of, like, the families and stuff around? Like, here's the thing, right? Like, this isn't gonna last forever. Like, I think most people know that, right? Like, this is all an anomaly. Like, this TikTok fame, and the thing is that the more that these guys, and like, all the guys look the same, all the girls look the same to some degree, right? So, like, it's all kind of an anomaly. And before long, they're gonna fade out. It's like, you know, Vine is over. Everybody said Vine's never gonna be over. Vine is over. TikTok, I don't know that TikTok will ever be over, but it'll change, just like YouTube. I don't know if it'll ever be over, but it'll change. And it's like, I hope you're planning for your futures. I really do. Not to mention planning for your futures and realizing that, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't know. I think my dad probably would have said to me at that age, if I was 20, and I think it would have been hard for him to, like, if I was literally making, let's say, $5 million a year, you know, minimum with sponsorships and whatever, and he said to me, I really think that you should go to school in case you need something to fall back on. I think my response to him at probably 18 or 19, although, like, I was always very respectful of my father. There were only a handful of times that I wasn't, and he put me in check very quickly. But I think, where am I at on time? I think my response to him, I would have fought it. I would have been like, I don't need to go to school. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You don't know this TikTok thing is going to last forever. And then I think my dad would have said, well, then please let me have you talk to, like, a financial advisor or a friend of mine so that we can protect, you know, some of your money so that down the road it's not like, and even then I think I would have listened to that. I don't know, it's interesting to me, this whole world, you know? I think, like, with, like, the Charli D'Amelio, did she still step away from the TikTok? You know, I haven't even looked. I should pull in and look somewhere. You know, I should probably know that, shouldn't I? I'm just not real interested in the D'Amelios. I know that all the young kids love Dixie and Charlie D'Amelio, but like, I'm just not interested in them at all. I don't think that they're that interesting. And I think there have been other... I went into this whole story about... Anyway, I said somebody's name. But I was talking about Charlie D'Amelio and having left the TikTok. But apparently she's back. Apparently she's back. So, good luck, Charlie D'Amelio. It'd be interesting to see where... I mean, we've kind of become a society to some degree of like people that are famous for really nothing, you know? Like we have huge franchises of television series, like the Housewives is basically that, you know? And the Kardashians is basically that. Yes, they have made things off of their fame, but they weren't really, like, they hadn't really done anything, had any really huge achievements until, basically they got, I mean, and then the major goal seemed like it was to have, like, a reality TV show, you know, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, if somebody offered me a reality TV show, I can't say that I would say no. I also don't know that I would want somebody following me around 24 hours a day. You guys, I have not even started Big Brother yet. Can we just talk about that for a second? Is it good? So it's Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So it started last Wednesday, so I have 3 episodes to get caught up on by tomorrow. Like, that's not going to happen. I really wanted to watch Big Brother this summer. Well, maybe I'll spend some time tomorrow watching Big Brother. I always get, this is the problem, is I always get a couple episodes behind, and then I'm like really wanting to watch it, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm behind, what am I gonna do? Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Building another building. I've got to get gas, and I am like so thirsty for water that the next gas station that I come up on that is open, I think I am going to stop there and get gas and get a big bottle of water, because this Diet Coke tonight is not doing it. But I really want to finish this book tonight, you guys. So I know that this is really, really short. But I'm going to end this now. I promise my vlog will be longer tomorrow. And so I will be back tomorrow. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Wednesday. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!